Okay, this is point slope form video 2, finding slope from graphs and graphing things. Okay, so let's talk about how do we put an equation of a line in point slope form when we're given a graph to look at. The first thing that we need to do is find 2 points on the graph. Okay, these need to be at integer spots where we can easily see the point. Okay, so I see one here at the point -2, 1, and I see another point up here where it is 4, 3. Okay, so I picked 2 points on the graph. The next thing I need to do is find my rise over my run, okay, which is our m, or our slope. So can I find the rise over the run? Sure. From here I need to rise up 1, 2, and I need to run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So on this graph I have a rise over a run of 2/6, or I could say 1/3. Okay? That would be my m, or my slope. Then we need to pick one point to use as our x1 and our y1. Okay, this time I'm going to pick the point, let's see, for my x1, y1, I'm going to use -2, 1. Okay, the first point that we picked. Then we need to insert them into our equation. Do we remember what it was? Y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus our x1. Okay, can we plug them back into this equation? All the things in black are the things that stay. The red ones represent our points. The blue ones represent our slope. Kind of helps us see what we need to plug in. So we can say y minus, well, our y1 is just the point 1, equals m, our slope, which we said was 1/3, times the quantity x minus x1 here, which was -2. So I'm going to say +2. Okay, and that is the equation of this line. Let's try some practice problems here, okay? So find the equation of these lines in point slope form. Remember, step 1 said find 2 lines, or 2 points on our line, sorry. So I'm going to find a point, one up here at 1, 2, 3, comma, or -3, comma 4. And I see another point. Let's use this one here, my x-intercept, which is 3, comma 0. Okay, so I found 2 points. Now I need to find my rise over my run, or my slope. Well, between these points, I have to rise 1, 2, 3, 4, and I run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I have a slope of 4/6, or I could say 2/3. Now let's think, is it positive or negative? Look at my line. It's going to be -2/3. Okay, now let's use one of my points and we'll plug them into the equation. This time let's use the point 3, comma 0. Okay, we can say y minus, well, our y1 here is 0, right? Equals our slope, which is -2/3, times x minus our x1, which is 3. Okay? I could leave it like this, or do I need to say y minus 0? Remember, when you subtract nothing, do you need to really say that? No, so I could simplify it to say y equals negative 2/3 times the quantity x minus 3. Okay? Go ahead and try the next one by yourself. All right? We're going to then try graphing in point slope form. Okay? So go ahead and you can work on that other problem when we're finished. So when we are graphing in point slope form, we are given an equation of some sort. We need to find what our x1 and our y1 are. We need to identify our slope. Okay? So when we find our x1, y1, we'll graph it. We can use our slope then to graph 2 or 3 other points on our line. Let's practice. In this equation that we're given, we have y minus 2 equals the quantity x minus 3. Okay? Remember, we're supposed to be looking at y minus y1 equals the slope times an x minus x1, okay? So in this one, I see an x1 here and a y1, okay? Our x1 is 3 and our y1 is 2. That's a point that we could graph. So we would go over here to 3, 2, and we could put a point. Okay, what is our slope in this equation? Do you see an m or some number being multiplied by our quantity x minus x1? Okay, here it doesn't say it, but I think we could say it's 1, right? If there isn't a number there, we could assume that it's 1. Okay, so knowing that we have a slope of 1 or a rise over run, 1 over 1, we could find another point on our graph. From here I could go up 1 over 1, and there would be another point. Do it again, up 1 and over 1 to find another point, okay? And the very last step would be to connect our dots. Okay, so let's try it again with the second one. We're given the equation y plus 1 equals 2/3 times the quantity x plus 1. All right, what's our x1, comma, y1? Well, I see a 1 here and a 1 there. Is it just the point 1, 1? Well, remember, our formula says that we're subtracting our x1 and our y1. So if it's positive here, we must have subtracted a negative number. Okay, so our point is really negative 1, comma, negative 1, which we can graph over here. All right, what is our slope? I think this one made it a little easier for us. Our slope right here is 2/3, okay? So we have a rise of 2 over a run of 3. Let's see if we can find a couple other points. From here, I'm going to rise 2, I'm going to run 1, 2, 3. My next point is over here. Let's try it again. We can rise 2 and run 1, 2, 3 for another point. All right, once you have them, we just need to connect our dots to draw our line. And that is how you graph using point slope form.